is the ATN Global News at 9 p.m., today being the 8th day of March 2024. First, the headlines. Governor Fubara salutes women on International Women's Day celebration. Gunmen kill 5 police officers in Ebonyi State. President Tinubu to prioritize women's welfare. SEC to reduce 190 billion naira unclaimed dividends. From UK PM Theresa May to quit Parliament. BNXN vows to release collabo with Davido. NFF shops for new Super Eagles coach. And now the rest of our stories. Rivers State Governor Sars Minalayi Fubara has congratulated women all over the world in celebration of the 2024 International Women's Day. The governor described women as unique creations and formidable assets endowed with grace and capacity to foster peace and development in society. He commends Rivers women for their unwavering support to his administration and urged them not to rest on their oars but to continue praying for the peace of the state and playing their motherly role to save the society from moral decay and rot. Safubara, who highlighted the fundamental position women occupy in the development of any society, restated the commitment of his administration to giving priority attention to women empowerment and their active participation in governance, in line with the theme of this year's celebration, which is to inspire inclusion. He noted that the slogan of "Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress" couldn't be more apt than as of right now. Similarly, the wife of the River State Governor, Lady Valerie Fubara, has eulogized the women of River State for their resilience, immeasurable contributions to the society. Lady Fubara, in a message to mark the 2024 International Women's Day, said on this special occasion of the 2024 International Women's Day, "I join the rest of the world to celebrate our esteemed women for their exceptional qualities and contributions to the well-being of our society." She noted that the theme of this year's celebration represents the true essence of the push for gender equality, which is hinged on inspiring inclusion, as well as a captivating slogan investing in women, accelerating progress. Lady Fubara emphasized that without doubt, women have always been the epitome of strength and resilience, which are valuable characteristics that accelerate progress in society. So she therefore called on women to always be resolute in what they do to impact the society positively and to be bright light to shine on everyone on all fronts and in all life's endeavors. In a related development, the First Lady, in cognizance of her commitment to fostering peace and empowerment, was honored with the prestigious International Peace Ambassador Award by International Association of World Peace Advocates. Also, Lady Fubara has reiterated her support for her husband's endeavors in enhancing the quality of life for women and affirming family values in River State. Councillor representing former River State Governor and current Minister of the Federal Capital Territories Local Government Council Area, Rumo Damaya Acho Nna, has resigned. In a letter and video seen by ATN on Friday and sent to the chairman of the Akbor Local Government Area, Rumo Damaya of River State, Nna said he was henceforth going to identify with the administration of Governor Minalayi Fubara. He noted that his decision was personal and very important to work with Fubara to make and move River State forward. One of the amazing projects in the Phase 3 of Emoha project commissioning is the ICT Center by Engineer Chukwuemeka Woke, Commissioner for Special Projects in River State, led by the Council Chairman of Emoha Local Government Area, Right Honorable Chidi Lloyd. The Emoha ICT facility, which is named after Chief Chukwuemeka Woke, is said to be one of the state-of-art milestones achieved to suit the modern times technology and prepare youth for the state to adapt the current trend in ICT discoveries for the national and humanitarian large. Speaking at the commissioning by Chief Chukwuemeka Woke, expressed gratitude for the current infrastructure development in the council under the administration of Right Honorable Chidi Lloyd.
And this engineer Chukwuemeka Woke Information and Communication Technology Center, built by the management of the council under the leadership of Sir Dr. Chi Julius Lloyd, DSS ROS, EEP, is commissioned by me this day, 1st of March 2024. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chairman, please permit me at this point to make this remark so that I commission this edifice in the name of God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. I want to also thank and congratulate our council chairman, Dr. Julius Lloyd, for all the numerous projects you enumerated here. We have seen there are projects that are physical and people have seen. It means that the people of Emoa local government area and the leadership of the People's Democratic Party that gave you mandate during the administration of His Excellency Ezenwonye Sonwike did not make any mistake. You have proven that you have capacity. You have also shown that you came prepared. And I can say, I can witness, because I said earlier that I was privileged to have administered this council from 2004 to 2007, and I came back again 2008 to 2009. 2008 to 2011. And I know that I will be a liar if I say that the way I left this council in 2011 is the way this council is looking today. You have made tremendous improvement on infrastructural development in this council.
Earlier, the council chairman, Right Honorable Chidi Lloyd, emphasized on the need for public office holders to put their trust in God and also put the interests of the people at heart.
So it is important that we know that what God cannot do does not exist.
Exactly so.
When once there is a will, there certainly will be a way. Victor has told us the story of what the hall was like before we assumed office. That is the truth. Then I sat back and looked at this hall and looked at what it was when Engineer Chukwuemeka Woke built it and the purpose it served thereafter. We conceived the idea of solving a generic problem. The problem of our children having to go as far as Aba, Owerri, to write computer-based exams. So we decided that we make Emoa local government a one-stop center. How did we do that? It is no longer news that this local government doesn't have too much of what generates revenue for it. Then as leaders, we must think outside the box in order to do things that will inadvertently generate money for the council. So that was why this ICT center was conceived, and is going to be linked to JAM, is going to be linked to NECO, is going to be linked to WAEC. So you can imagine what that will mean. What it will mean is that they will not be using this facility free of charge. They will pay the council. This ICT center will tell its story, because everything there is for a world-class ICT center to have is herein. And we were deliberate in our choice of who to name the center after. We named the center after someone who had also sacrificed immensely for the development of the local government. Therefore, I would not want to bore you with speeches, but just to plead.
Bodies of late Chief Executive Officer of Access Bank, Herbert Wige, his wife and son have arrived in Nigeria for burial. Our correspondent reports that the bodies of the Wigways arrived at the Port Harcourt International Airport, Rivers State, from the United States of America today, Friday. 57-year-old Wigwe died in a helicopter crash in the United States on February 9th. His wife Chizaba and son Chizi also died in the crash. Also, the former president of Nigerian Exchange Group, Abimbola Agunbajo, was in the fatal crash. Since their death, tributes have continued to pour in for the Wigways as sympathizers recalled his deeds while alive. The funeral of the trio will be held on Saturday at Ishipo, his hometown in the Kwara local government area of Rivers State. Meanwhile, personalities have not stopped paying tributes to late Wigwe. President Bola Tinubu described the death of Herbert Wigwe, Abimbola Ogundajo, and members of the Wigwe family as a rude shock. Aliko Dangote said he would name the biggest road at the Dangote refinery after the late co-founder of the Access Bank. Dangote, who described Wigwe as one of his mentees, said the late banker played a key role in ensuring that the refinery project was successfully completed. In Akwa Ibom State, Governor Omo Eno has assured women of his determination to prepare them for future opportunities. Eno made the assurance in a statement signed by his chief press secretary, Ekerete Udo, in commemoration of the International Women's Day celebration on Friday. The governor said he would continue to run a gender-inclusive government as currently reflected in the State Executive Council, the transition committees, members of boards, and other ministerial departments, among others. He also lauded the strides Akwa Ibom State women made in accelerating the development of the state. He also added that the women of Akwa Ibom State have done great things, from managing homes, making huge strides in both private and public sectors, and being in the vanguard of pushing morality in the society. Abia State High Court sitting in Ukwa has sentenced to death two former members of Abia Vigilante Group, popularly known as Bakassi Boys, for alleged kidnap and murder. The duo Ugochukwu Amugo and Udo Oga are to die by hanging according to the pronouncement of the trial judge, Justice Chibuzo Ahuchaogo. They were found guilty of an alleged conspiracy, kidnap and murder, which occurred on the 30th of August 2014. The convicts had, on the set date, allegedly arrested two young men, Tempo Wakama and Martins Aze, around Osisiama area of Aba, and claimed to have found them in possession of firearms, cartridges and knives. They claimed to have handed over the suspect to certain army personnel who intercepted them at a military checkpoint on the Umuahia Aba Expressway, while taking them to Umuahia, the state capital. The convicts had also claimed not knowing the identities of the said military personnel, nor getting any notes from them being handing over the suspect to them. Meanwhile, the whereabouts of the suspect had remained unknown, as the Nigerian army had since denied any knowledge of the incidents. This prompted family members of the suspect to approach the courts for justice. Delivering judgment on the matter, Justice Ahuchogo said the convicts should be hanged for failing to prove beyond every reasonable doubt that they had handed the boys to men of the Nigerian army, and as such know nothing about their disappearance. Tertiary students in Imo State have protested against high cost of living, high fees, poor education, poor infrastructure, poor facilities, extortion and intimidation in their various institutions. The students appealed to the federal and state governments to stop instant hike in their tuition fees, as well as undue extortion through handouts, textbooks, strengthen serene, conducive environment, install medical equipment or facilities such as electricity, boreholes, among others, for improved quality education and moral values. The protesters, comprising of students from Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Imo State University, Owerri, Alvan Ikoku Federal University of Education, Owerri, Federal Polytechnic, Nekede, Owerri, and Imo State University of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, Umagwo Ohaji, carried out a peaceful protest in Owerri. They also lamented high cost of living, accommodation fees and hardship in Imo State, occasioned by what they termed government's bad economic policy, poor infrastructure and unemployment. They urged government to make people-oriented policies to cushion suffering hunger and poverty being faced by the students. Vice President, National Association of Nigerian Students, Valentine Nzubechu, who addressed the protesters, reassured the federal and state governments will give heed to their plight and request to enhance quality education. Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has assured Lagos airport passengers to staff of their safety and security after a cable short circuit incident on Thursday. Director of Public Affairs of the Consumer Protection, Mrs. Obiageli Ora, gave the assurance in a statement on Friday in Lagos. She admitted that there was an electrical short circuit at about 11:20 a.m. at the e-arrival hall of the Murtala Mohammed Airport's Old Terminal, adding that it did not disrupt airport operations. Passengers on Thursday ran for their dear lives when the fire broke out at the terminal of the e-arrival finger of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. According to Oran, the incident was swiftly resolved to ensure safety of passengers and airport staff. Ora said that the safety and security of passengers and staff remain a top priority for Murtala Mohammed International Airport. She further said that the quick and effective response by the engineering department exemplified fans' commitment to maintaining a safe and efficient airport environment. Gunmen have reportedly killed 5 police officers on Friday in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State capital. Sources said the unfortunate incident occurred about 5 a.m. at Ebia Bridge along Hilltop Walker Road. Similarly, a retired army officer and 15 others have been reportedly killed by suspected armed herdsmen in Thursday's evening attack of Wado, a Bikayo community in Mbalom Council Ward of Egwe East government area of Benue State. The invaders were also reported to have razed over 50 houses, huts, farmland and food banks in 11 settlements in the attack. The latest attack came about 6 years after a similar attack by armed herdsmen on St. Ignatius Catholic Church, Okpo Parish, Mbalum Ngwe East Local Government Area, claimed the lives of 2 Catholic priests and 17 parishioners. A survivor of the attack, who spoke on condition of animosity, said the well-armed marauders numbered about 40 stormed the community at about 7 p.m. and opened fire on the locals who were taken unawares. Confirming the development, the caretaker chairman of Egwe East Local Government, Comfort Abo, said, at the moment there is relative peace in Wado community. 16 bodies have so far been recovered. 2 were injured and are receiving treatment. When contacted, the police public relations officer, Superintendent Katrin Anene, who confirmed the development, said the police commissioner, who was on his way to the scene of the attack for on-the-spot assessment. Ebonyi State government said they would deploy artificial intelligence in running government affairs to enhance professionalism and accuracy in the official activities. Governor Francis Wifuru said this in Abakaliki at the 18th Eastern Zonal Conference of the Institution of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Wifuru noted that being a fast-rising state, Ebonyi would take the lead in deploying modern technologies to enhance administrative convenience and eliminate waste. He also noted that collaboration between the government and the accounting community is important in driving sustainable economic development. He commended ICANN for thinking in the same direction as the state, staying the state's finalized arrangement to deploy AI in all facets of government. Earlier in his remarks, the 59th president of ICANN, Dr. Innocent Okosa, thanked the governor for attending the 3-day conference and commended his welfarist approach to governance. Nigerian Customs Service has said the service is collaborating with other federal government agencies in the fight against hunger. Controller General of NCS, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, on Friday stated this while briefing newsmen in Kano. Adeniyi explained that the service was working assiduously to ensure adequate management of the nation's borders to safeguard industries as well as protect the agricultural sector. According to him, the agency was collaborating with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and other related stakeholders to ensure maximum food security in the country. The CG stated that service was also working closely with the border communities to ensure timely intelligence information, which will be used for limiting smuggling of food and other contrabands. He said as part of the effort to enhance effective community relations between the Nigerian custom and border communities, the service will construct schools and health facilities to achieve the desired objectives. He added that the NCS had begun meeting with leaders of the grains market to fine-tune modalities of addressing hikes in foodstuff prices. Kano State Fire Service saved 6 lives and property valued at 107 million naira from 74 fire incidents it recovered in February 2024. Public Relations Officer of the agency, Saminu Abdullahi, made this disclosure in an interview with newsmen on Friday in Kano. According to him, 4 persons lost their lives, while property valued at 64 million were destroyed by fire during the period. He said the service responded to 7 rescue calls and 10 false alarms from residents of the state. He therefore advised the general public to handle fire with care. Over 280 pupils and teachers from Government Secondary School and LEA Primary School in Karuga, Kaduna State, were abducted by bandits on Thursday, sparking national outrage. Various organizations, including the Jama'atu Nasiri Islam, Amnesty International, the Parent Teachers Association of Nigeria, the Nigerian Union of Teachers, and the House of Representatives, have condemned the attack and called the government to rescue the victims immediately. Reacting to these on Atlantic Television Social Watch, a public affairs analyst, Gospel Eze, expressed sympathy to parents and parents of the abducted pupils, frowning over the insensitive approach for the military and other security agencies, especially the local authorities, in tackling the recurring insecurity challenges in Kano State.
I can imagine what the parents of these pupils will be passing through right now. But my worry is that this is a recurrent event within the community and within that locality. Does it mean that the village does not have a village head? Is there no government within the local government? What are the roles of the youth leaders, the political leaders within that area, within that terrain? Because from the recurrent nature of this ugly event, it seems to me that kidnapping in that particular area has become a lucrative business. And since it's a lucrative business, there may also be vested interest in that business.
Dr. Yadum Yako also called on both the federal, state and local governments to be proactive in tackling insecurity across their jurisdiction, as it is the primary purpose of governance.
Now, the primary role of government is to, secure lives and property. I tell you, from this event, from this ugly incident, I think the government has failed, especially the social contract it signed with the people. How can this kind of incident happen within a community? This number of persons were taken away from the community.
National Association of Nigerian Students has expressed sadness at the abduction of over 200 students and teachers from a primary and secondary school in Karuga, Gwara local government area of Kaduna State. The association, in a statement on Friday by the Universal President, Comrade Lucky Emonefe, said the news of the abduction was shocking and called for a review of security arrangements in and around schools nationwide. The leadership of NANS therefore called for security agencies to take immediate action in rescuing these innocent students and ensuring that such an alarming incident does not occur again. The statement further urged the federal government to urgently review and increase the manpower and remuneration of security personnel as it currently falls below the United Nations recommended level. President Bola Tinubu has condemned the heinous incidents of abduction involving very vulnerable victims, internally displaced persons in Borno State and school children in Kaduna State. Reports emerged on Friday that many of these abducted from the IDP camps in the Ngala local government area of the state are women, boys and girls. The exact number of people abducted remains unknown, but is estimated at over 200 people. Terrorists on Thursday morning stormed LGA Primary School, Karuga, Chingun local government area of Kaduna State and kidnapped over 285 pupils and teachers. It was gathered that the incident happened at about 8:20 a.m. immediately after the school morning assembly. But in a statement signed by Chief Ajuri in Gelali, his special advisor, the president, directed security and intelligence agency to immediately rescue the victims and ensure that justice is served against the perpetrators of this abominable act. The president sympathizes with the families of the victims, assuring them that they will soon be reunited with their loved ones. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television. We will be back after this break.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You are a human.
Welcome back. This is Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has promised that his administration will prioritize the welfare of women, protect their rights and advance their causes. Tinubu described women as the nation's pivots in a statement signed by his media aide, Aju Ngalale, to commemorate International Women's Day. The president recognized the role of women in nation building and emphasized that without the scintilla of doubts, Nigerian women are elemental to the nation's development, growth and greatness. The president affirms that in every discipline and field of human endeavor, The standout achievements of Nigerian women have become a testament to the resilience, strength, courage, and ingenuity of all women across the world, as well as a mark of their exceptional quality as emissaries of hope and possibilities. President Tinubu notes that the theme of this year's International Women's Day, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, fits well within its administration's policy initiatives on educating and empowering women, not only through inclusion in government, but also by ensuring that they remain relevant and unimpeachable voices in the development process across all sectors of economy. The President stated that his administration is focused on providing investments in educating the girl child while fostering inclusive programs and initiatives that bolster their active roles in the areas of knowledge, science, technology, research and innovation into the future. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, the wife of the President, has advocated for more investment in women in commemoration of the 2024 International Women's Day. In a statement in Abuja on Friday, Tinubu urged that more investment in women would accelerate progress in all spheres of the economy. Themed Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, Tinubu called for cooperation from every stakeholder across the economy, adding that every woman needed help as she created a pathway to progress. He urged women to come together, bond and love one another, adding that this is a pathway to accelerate progress. President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has congratulated women on the occasion of the 2024 International Women's Day, saying they deserved all the respect. Akpabio, in a statement to celebrate the women signed by a special advisor on media and publicity, Honorable Esime Eyibo, on Friday, singled out Nigerian women for praise, saying they are full package and a special breed. Eulogizing the resilient spirits of Nigerian women, Akpabio appreciated their daily struggles, describing them as resilient, industrious, and unwavering. He said the theme of this year's celebration, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, was apt because no nation succeeds without investing in women, as it is popularly agreed that train a woman and you train a nation. The Senate President assured that the Nation Assembly, under his chairmanship, will continue to advocate for improved welfare of our women, added that we are very conscious that failure to invest in women is akin to killing development and destroying a nation. According to him, the campaign theme of the 2024 IWD celebration, Inspire Inclusion, was in tune with the thinking of the 10th Senate, which is working assiduously to enact laws that would increase girl-child enrollment in school, fight against sexual exploitation, and generally give what is due to the women folk. Senators have celebrated with their female legislators to commemorate International Women's Day. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja, celebrated with the women senators by cutting cake to mark the International Women's Day. Reacting, Senator Mohammed Mongono called for women inclusivity in governance, saying women are underrepresented in decision-making processes. Also, Senate Idat Oluranti Adebule from Lagos State described women as pillars of national development and urged institutions of governance to increase support for women in the country.
Women are underrepresented in decision-making process in this country, and therefore, as legislators, we should think out of the box and take deliberate steps by way of legislative intervention to bring about more women into governance for the purpose of inclusivity, and we can only achieve that by taking deliberate steps with regard to gender representation of women in governance.
As you know, as women, we break the ceiling. We try as much as possible to do the best that we can. But back to your question, I want to believe seriously that a lot is being done by all different organizations, the international communities, even in Nigeria, for us, the NGOs, for us to increase what we have. And I want to believe by the grace of God, we are going to increase that number by the next election. However, I want to encourage women not to rest on their oars. Some have been out, they've contested, they've lost the election. And as such, they've withdrawn. This is not the time to withdraw. It is time to continue to push. And as long as we continue to push, by the grace of God, they will see the potential in you and give you the support that you need. Quite a that were presented previously in the National Assembly. The women in this 10th Assembly are working seriously on it, and by the grace of God, we hope to bring some of them back, and just for us to get the consensus amongst the men. We are again discussing with them, and we hope that by the grace of God, when those bills are returned back to the Senate, they will be given desired support.
Nigerian Senate has resolved to investigate the unexplained delay in electricity step-down of Okpai power plant in Delta State. Lawmakers during Thursday's plenary said that investigating the delay had become imperative as the plant played a crucial role in the national power distribution system in 2005 when it was inaugurated. Correspondent Rotimi Adewuyi reports.
The probes into the power plant step-down delay in Delta State was deliberated during plenary on Thursday after a motion sponsored by Senator Ned Nwoko on the subject matter titled Need to Address the Unexplained Delay in Electricity Step-Down of Okpia Independent Power Plant. He noted that in view of the importance of the Okpia power plant, there was a need for the Senate Committee on Power to investigate and take action to resolve the delay in the distribution of 100 megawatts of electricity to host communities as agreed.
To date, there have been unexplained delays in executing the contract project. Worried that despite the presidential pronouncement 2005 and the upgrade of my power plant to 930 megawatts, the people of Ndokwa Nation and the entire Delta North Senatorial District continue to live in darkness behind in the supply of electricity. This is the case even though the plant hosts several oil companies in the vicinity, including...
Contributing to the debate, Senator Adams Oshiomhole and Deputy Senate President Senator Jubri Barau expressed disappointment concerning the issue of the worsening power supply in the country. Lawmakers lamented poor state of electricity supply and the consequences of the negative development in the effort to move the country out of the present economic crisis.
I can't wait any longer. I'm just coming from Cote d'Ivoire. They have lights round the clock, round the week, round the month, round the year. They are not as rich as us. We are a country full of resources. Full of resources, name them, including human capital resources. But we will not be able to harness these resources given to us by God because we don't have electricity.
So, with respect, Mr. President, that this Senate find the courage to call on the President to review the entire privatization exercise and all the transactions that have taken place such that the individuals are making money but their companies are poor. We have situations where pharmacists are MDs of discos, people who know next to nothing. I was a member of the Privatization Council, and the idea was that before you invest or buy into this sector, you must show evidence of financial wherewithal, and you must also show evidence of technical know-how to be able to participate in the power business. All of these have been breached with impunity. I ask, Mr. President, I order your leadership, let this Senate take the bold action of reviewing the entire power system, privatization, selling of discos or no discos, and even new power plant, because there is a lot of confusion in the system. And unless we do that, sir, year in, year out, we will continue to lament the power thing. And lastly, sir, anybody who talks of creating jobs in Nigeria, anybody who talks of reviving the manufacturing sector, knows that it will remain a huge joke if we do not have stable, steady, quality power supply to drive our manufacturing sector where the jobs are.
The Senate has, however, mandated its committee on electricity to investigate delay in distribution of 100 megawatts to the hosting community in Delta State and to report back in 4 weeks. Rotimi Adewuyi, ATN News, Abuja.
In commemoration with Nigerian women and women all over the world on the 2024 International Women's Day and recognition of the achievements of women in various fields of societal development, the House of Representatives has resolved to revisit all the gender-based legislations of the 9th Assembly on women participation in politics and other sectoral matters. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion by Honorable Kafiat Obara read at plenary by Honorable Issa Bello, Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Rules and Business. Presenting the motion, Honorable Bello underscored the need for government, organizations and individuals to take concrete steps to promote gender equality, eliminate gender-based violence, ensure equal access to opportunities, available inclusion in criteria decision-making, while noting contributions of Nigerian women towards business education, religion, political and family affairs, both at home and abroad, in fostering development. Honorable Bello emphasized the need to advocate for policies and practices that promote inclusivity and diversity as a house stand in solidarity with women all over the world.
It is imperative that we recognize the importance of this day as a catalyst for change, a call to action and a reminder of the work that still needs to be done to achieve true gender parity. Mr. Speaker, the House may wish to be aware that these international terms of the 2024 commemoration Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress emphasize the significance of gender equality, investing in women, ending poverty, implementing gender responsiveness in budgeting, shifting to a green economy, and supporting women organizations and groups. Furthermore, that the government organizations and individuals need to take concrete steps to promote gender equality, eliminate gender-based violence, ensure equal access to opportunities available and inclusion in critical decision-making in nation building. Mr. Speaker, the House may wish to observe that women in Nigeria face numerous challenges ranging from poverty, lack of access to education and healthcare, as well as limited representation in political and appointed positions.
On the 8th March every year, women gather to reaffirm commitments to gender equality, celebrate achievements of women, and advocate for the empowerment of women worldwide. The theme of 2024 United Nations International Women's Day is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, aimed at tackling economic disempowerment, while the campaign theme is Inspire Inclusion. House of Representatives has reiterated a commitment to collaborate with government agencies, civil society and private sectors on actions that can overcome the structural barriers preventing women from realizing their full potentials. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, stated this on Friday at the occasion of 2024 International Women's Day celebration held at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja. The Speaker, who was represented by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, noted that the internal level, the Green Chamber is working to strengthen the women's caucus in the House to better advocate for women-specific issues and mentor upcoming female politicians. He noted that his office has also launched the Bridge Her Gap initiative, a project to address the systematic gaps and inequalities faced by women and girls in Nigeria.
We must dismantle cultural biases. We must dismantle unequal access to resources and opportunities. Furthermore, empowering women through mentorship programs, leadership trainings, ensuring their voices are heard, valued, are crucial aspects of fostering an environment where they can flourish, contribute meaningfully to the political and legislative processes. As legislators, we hold a unique responsibility. We must enact laws that promote inclusion and cultivate a culture of inclusivity in our institutions. This requires building a supportive environment, structures that amplify women's voices and challenge discriminatory practices.
Stakeholders at the event acknowledged the need to take drastic and deliberate steps to open up spaces for inclusion of women in decision-making processes in different sectors so that the nation can reap the benefits of the overall empowerment of women.
As women, we constitute a significant portion of our society, and it is vital that our voices are heard and our contributions acknowledged. I therefore encourage you to set a robust legislative agenda for advocacy, empowerment, and welfare that will be beneficial to the well-being of our women.
It is about fostering a culture where the voices of women from all walks of life resonate, where their ideas are embraced, and where their contributions are celebrated.
In leadership, the inclusion of the underprivileged in our decision-making process is one of the key pillars of women inclusion. Without including them, without considering their opinions, without looking at their plight, we cannot achieve gender equality.
Present at the occasion includes representatives of the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, members of civil society organizations, amongst others. National Chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has made the case for ruling political parties in Africa to synergize and evolve a peer review mechanism to strengthen democracy in the continent. He made this call during a courtesy visit to his Ghanaian counterpart, Stephen Ayesu Ntim, at the national headquarters of Ghana's ruling New Patriotic Party in Accra. A statement by Ganduje's Chief Press Secretary, Edwin Olofo, from Accra on Friday explained that the APC chairman also stressed the need for parties in Africa to understudy themselves to bolster international democracy and to improve the lot of the impoverished Africans yearning for good governance. Ganduje further advocated for parties in Africa to monitor elections in sister countries whenever an election is going to take place in such countries. Ganduje, who was in Accra in reciprocation of the visit of the leader of the NPP to Nigeria in late 2023, said APC under his leadership is committed to institutionalizing its relationship with Ghana's NPP. He noted that both countries shared similar historical experiences, and as such, the need for the two powerful West African countries to work together. United Nations Children Fund has condemned the abduction of students by bandits in Kaduna State. It said the alarming frequency of such incidents across the country signaled a crisis that requires immediate and determined action from all. UNICEF said it is coordinating with local officials and providing assistance to the affected parents and families through psychological support services. Over 280 pupils and teachers of government secondary school and early year primary school at Karuga, Kaduna State were abducted by bandits. The bandits reportedly invaded the Karigo area of the Chinkon local government area of Kaduna State on Thursday, shooting at their victims before taking away at least 280 of the pupils and teachers from both schools. UNICEF representatives in Nigeria, Christine Mondates, in a statement said the alarming frequency of such incidents across the country signals a crisis that requires immediate and determined action from all levels of government and society. She stated that the right to education is fundamental and must be protected against any form of violence and intimidation. National Civil Service Society of Nigeria says the unfortunate stampede that occurred during the distribution of subsidized rice in Lagos on February 23 will have been averted if a minister had been appointed to oversee the affairs of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. The council stated this in Abuja while addressing newsmen after an emergency meeting to deliberate on the state of the nation and other issues on the front burner of national discourse. Executive Director of the Council, Blessing Akilosotu, in a communique said food insecurity, poor living standard, closure of industries leading to loss of jobs were responsible for the current state of things in the country. Director of Programs Max Kalu said the Nigerian Customs Service is not to be blamed, saying the service would have been relieved of the burden of distribution of intervention items and saved itself from any attendant complications, saying the ministry with such responsibility was inactive.
I agree that there can be a better arrangement. However, the development is pardonable considering the good motive and intentions of the actions and decisions taken by the Controller General, Mr. Bashi Adewale Adeniyi. Hence, we recommend the service to conduct thorough investigation to address lapses and make adequate compensation to families of victims. The Nigerian Customs Service would have been relieved of the burden of the distributions of intervention items and save itself from any attendant complications if the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation has been active enough to play its mandatory role.
It means they are professional in doing it. But since the crisis that erupted there some months ago, where the minister was suspended, President Dr. Beta Edu, the ministry has gone docile, and we equally observe that Mr. President has not appointed any supervising minister to that ministry, and that is the lacuna we are seeing in the outcome. That is the outcome of such lacuna. No minister, it means no head. When there's no head, you know the civil servants. They will tell you we don't have a minister that will approve this for us, and as such, they have been docile and inactive. It is their inactiveness that give room for custom to serve as the emergency actor, emergency humanitarian actor, and which is not their core competence. And what is the outcome? The outcome is what you saw.
Executive Director, NCSCN, Director of Programs, Mr. Max Kalu. The Council, however, commended the impressive performance of the NCS under the new CG, Mr. Bashir Adeniyi. European Union Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Samuela Isopi, has stated that the active participation of women in decision-making and politics remain important if Nigeria was to achieve equality, sustainable development, peace and democracy. She noted that while women have the fundamental right to participate in political life, most of them still face a lot of social, cultural and financial challenges. The EU representative reminded stakeholders, especially the National Assembly, that the ongoing constitutional reform process presented Nigeria with a unique opportunity to join the League of Progressive Nations in promoting gender parity through the adoption of a legal framework that discourages discrimination based on gender. Ambassador Isopi, who was represented by the EU Deputy Head of Missions to Nigeria, Zisimos Vegos, made this known in Abuja during a two-day roundtable on women inclusion in politics, in commemoration of the International Women's Week, organized by European Union support to democratic governments in Nigeria, with the theme, Women's Underrepresentation, exploring the use of temporal social media, special measures to elect women to parliament. She stressed that there is strong evidence that more women are elected to office. There is an increase in policy making that emphasizes quality of life and reflected the priorities of families, women, and marginalized groups. Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu explained that women bring immense value to nation building, particularly as they are more thorough, unbiased, look beyond themselves, and are selfless. Department of State Services has called on Nigerians to refrain from economic exploitation, sabotage, or profiteering during the Lent and Ramadan. The service identified with the Christians and Muslim faithful at their Lent and coming Ramadan seasons respectively. Director of Public Relations and Strategic Communications, National Headquarters, Abuja, Peter Afunaya, in the statement on Friday, also urged residents to remain vigilant against public dangers, especially improvised explosive devices. The statement also said DSS recognizes the significance of these sacred rites and enjoins worshippers to promote understanding, compassion and respect for one another during and after the exercises. It also appeals to stakeholders to refrain from economic exploitation, sabotage or profiteering during these important obligations. The agency further reaffirmed its commitment to the values of mercy, tolerance, forgiveness, being brothers keepers, amongst others. By these, advance more inclusive and equitable society for us all. Governors of the Southeast region shunned the zonal public hearing on the national minimum wage held at the Nike Lake Hotel in Enugu State. The governors are Anambra, Chukwuma Soludo, Abia Alex Oti, Ebonyi Francis Wifuru, Enugu Peter Mba, and Imo State Senator Hope Uzodinma. Our correspondent reports that the governors also did not send representatives to the event. Reacting to these on Atlantic Television, a socio-political analyst, Ifeanyi Chukwu Ugochukwu, preached decentralization, stressing that states should utilize their resources to salvage the dwindling economic situation across the country.
This is calling us to regionalism. You know, some people have called for Nigeria to go back to the parliamentary system of government. I think if going by what the disparities and the discordant tune
by the
NLC
over
now
the minimum
over
wage.
the minimum wage, I think if they can achieve that for us to go either to regionalism or back to parliamentary system of government, I think it will do us a whole lot of good. So
Ugochukwu further tasked the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union to clearly indicate the categories of beneficiaries over the minimum wage and to also push for a constitutional amendment as regards Labour and Trade Act.
that it is also germane to state that NLC should first of all push for the amendment of the Constitution if they want to achieve anything. They should push for the amendment of Constitution in the sense that they should let the Constitution capture the timeline and the lifetime of each minimum wage and the time to review it. And then they are talking about the exclusive list that is in the exclusive list. I don't think it is. Are we talking about the federal civil servants, or are we talking about all civil servants in Nigeria? Because we have state civil servants. So the proposals they are making is it for the benefit of all. Just as you have said, there are some states that have not implemented the 30,000 naira minimum wage, which was approved more than 5 years ago. Then even it was the present governor of Rivers State who has mandated the local governments to pay that 30,000 naira. That means the local governments were neglected from Abiricio. All those things that Labour is fighting, all those noise they are making on the national space is only for those in Abuja and in the federal civil service payroll. What about those in the state?
Non-academic staff union of educational and associated institutions has asked the federal government to pay the 4 months withheld salaries of its members. The union threatened to embark on strike over the non-payment of withheld salaries. The union accused the federal government of favoring the academic staff union of universities by paying 4 of the 8 months old members of ASU. Already, the Joint Action Committee comprising of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and NASU have given the government a 7-day ultimatum. In a letter issued on Friday by the JAC, the union said they would go on strike if the federal government failed to release the withheld salaries after 7 days. The letter was signed by the president of SSANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, and General Secretary of NASU, Peters Adeyemi. However, President Bola Tinubu in October 2023 ordered a partial release of 4 months of the withheld 8 months pay of all lecturers. In the letter, the unions expressed concern that the government released 4 months of withheld salaries to members of ASU without extending the same gesture to non-academic staff. NASU General Secretary Adeyemi warned of grave consequences, threatening that the union may be compelled to down tools within a week if the government failed to issue a directive instructing the Accountant General of the Federation to pay their members the 4 months' salaries as well. Now, business news. Federal government says it is on the course of fuel subsidy removal. It also said that it is working assiduously to ensure the price stability of fuel in the overall interest of Nigeria. International Monetary Fund had alleged that the government still maintains subsidies on fuel pump prices and electricity tariffs despite President Tinubu announcing the removal of subsidy. Special advisor to the President on Energy, Olu Behenjen, who spoke at the ministerial press briefing in Abuja, said it is the prerogative of the government to maintain price stability. She urged that the developed countries, including the United States, do the same to prevent volatility in the economy. As part of efforts to reduce the level of unclaimed dividends by investors in the capital market, the Securities and Exchange Commission said it is intensifying strategies to shrink unclaimed dividends. The apex regulator, saddled with the dual responsibilities of regulating and developing the Nigerian capital market, disclosed this to journalists after a 3-day investment clinic it held in Yobe State to address complaints from investors in the region. Head of the SEC Zonal Office, Kaduna Danladi Mohammed, stated that the investor clinic was jointly organized by Securities and Exchange Commission and the Gombe State Investment and Property Development Company to assist investment with unclaimed dividends and related matters. Mohammed said the 3-day exercise was aimed at creating awareness and enlightenment on e-dividend, dematerialization of shares certificates and direct cash settlement payment system, among other initiatives. Now to international news, international tidbits. Ghanaian's Deputy Finance Minister John Kuma has died in Germany. According to African News, Kuma died at the age of 45 after a long-battled illness, which kept him in Germany hospital for some time. The 45-year-old lawmaker confirmed death, but there was no information on the circumstances of his death. Kuma was elected as a member of parliament for the Ejisu constituency in 2020 general elections in Ghana under the New Patriotic Party. He was then appointed Deputy Minister of Finance in April 2021. The politician has served as the Chief Executive Officer of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program. He hailed from Ejisu, Odoha, a farming community in Ejisu municipality in the Ashanti region of Ghana. John Kuma attended Opoku Warehouse Secondary School in Kumasi. He continued to the University of Ghana, Legion, in 1997 and was awarded Bachelor of Arts in Economics with Philosophy. In the year 2009, he was awarded an MBA Finance from GIMPA. He also had a degree in law from the University of Ghana and a professional law degree from the Ghana School of Law. He also had his postgraduate diploma in applied business research from the Nobel International Business School in 2019. Former UK Prime Minister Theresa May on Friday announced that she will stand down as Member of Parliament at the next general election due to take place later this year. 67-year-old May is the most senior member of Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's Conservative Party to announce they will not seek re-election. The theories have consistently trailed the main opposition Labour Party since October 2022 and are widely seen as on course to be dumped out of power after 14 years. May has represented the constituency of Maidenhead in southeast England since 1997 and served as Prime Minister between 2016 and 2019. A tantamount period in the UK as it attempted to negotiate the departure from the European Union. May served as Interior Minister between 2010 and 2016 under then leadership David Cameron, but he resigned immediately after Britain voted to leave the EU on June 23, 2016, and May became Prime Minister less than a month later. She called a general election in 2017 to try to break the logjam over the terms of Britain's departure from the EU, but the vote ended in a hung parliament. President Murdoch has become engaged for the 6th time. The 92-year-old will marry 67-year-old Elena Zukovac in June. Murdoch is believed to have been dating the retired Russian molecular biologist for several months. The Australian-born media tycoon, who stood down as chairman of Fox and News Corps last year, has married 4 times. His engagement to former police chaplain Anna Leslie Smith was called off just 2 weeks after being announced in April 2023. Murdoch married his first wife, former flight attendant Patricia Booker, in 1956, and the couple had 1 daughter, Prudence. After their divorce 11 years later, his second marriage to Anna Tove, a trainee journalist he met while she was working on one of his Australian titles, lasted more than 30 years. In 2016, Murdoch surprised the world by marrying former model Jerry Hall, an ex-partner of Rolling Stones singer Mark Jagger, with whom she had 4 children. The marriage lasted 6 years before they two divorced. And now, entertainment news. Famous Nigerian singer Ayodeji Ibrahim Balogun, popularly known as Wizkid, has spoken about his relationship with colleague Burna Boy. Wizkid, speaking in his latest interview, explained that initially met while working on Burna Boy's album African Giant. Sharing a humorous incident from their collaboration studio, he said things took an unexpected turn after his inauguration despite the initial hiccup. Wizkid further referred to Burna Boy as his family, adding that having two great people in the same room will undoubtedly result in some amazing music. Singer Daniel Benson, popularly known as BNXN, has unreservedly apologized for disrespecting Davido after his colleague Jemo called him out. BNXN threw a jab at Davido while bantering with a fan on the DMW box on X. Seemingly angered by the shade, Davido deleted a tweet where he teased a collaboration with BNXL. Despite Davido's reaction, BNXN vowed that he would still release the song without his approval, stressing that he wrote everything while also claiming that the fans blew his tweet out of proportion. However, he apologized shortly after the DMW signee, Jemo, scolded him for disrespecting his boss. Here now is ATM Sports News. Nigerian Football Federation has declared the position of the Super Eagles head coach vacant following the expiration of the contract of Josim Pesero at the end of February. With the departure of the Portuguese, who led the Eagles to second place at the 2023 African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast, the Glass House is out shopping for a replacement. In an advertisement on its website calling for application, the NFF stated the prospective Super Eagles coach must have proven experience at the elite level of football. While no game has been arranged for the Eagles ahead of the March 18th international free window, the Federation remains its new face, with the task of appointing a new coach for the team before their next World Cup qualifiers in June. Egypt continued their dominance over Nigeria by claiming gold medal in the table tennis team events for men and world category. In the men's category, Omar Assar, Youssef Abdulaziz, and Mohamed El Balai conquered the trio of Olajide Omotayo, Aruna Quadri, and Taiwo Mati in the final. Assar defeated Omotayo 3-0 in the first game, while Abdulaziz finally halted Aruna's dominance with a 3-1 win. El Belal engaged Mati 3-1 to complete the 3-0 route by Egyptians. In the women's category, the trio of Ofiong Eden, Hope Udoka, and Fatima Bello also fell to the Egyptians on the final. They were overpowered by Dina Mashrif, Hannah Goda, and Miriam Ahodabi. The Egyptian ladies have dominated the event since the training Nigeria at the 2019 edition of the African Games in Maputo. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Governor Fubara salutes women on IWD celebration. Government killed 5 police officers in Ebonyi State. President Tinubu to prioritize women's welfare. SEC to reduce 190 billion naira unclaimed dividends. Former UK PM Theresa May to quit Parliament. BNXN vows to release collabo with David. NFF shops for new Super Eagles coach. I am Wendy Aguma. Thank you for watching and good evening.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on The Fact Today, only